federalism in the Philippines has been a long discussion. Now, even more discussed since President Rodrigo Duterte won the 2016 elections. President Duterte has proposed 2 autonomous regions and 18 federal states. The first is the federated region of the Cordilleras of the north, and the second, the Bangsamoro region of the south. In a federal type of government, there will be a 50 to 50% share of tax revenues, with 50% going to the region and the remaining 50% going to the federal government. Federalism is a proposed form of government in which central government and subdivisional governments, such as states or provinces, are legally divided into sovereignty. Federalism divides the country into several independent national government entities. With a federal type of government, regions can freely make their own decisions for them to improve as a region. It is essential to note, in the Philippines context, due to the vast geographical and cultural differences between regions, differences to which the central government may not always be able to address. Federalism, like other systems of the government, has its negative side. 1. Federalism might lead to disintegration, meaning regional governments will trigger demands for eventual dissolution of entity. Former President of the Philippines, Fidel Ramos, believes that after a federal setup, the archipelago can be divided into secessionist states. The record also shows that there are only 4 Federalist supporters among the 24 current senators in the country: Manny Pacquiao, Miguel Zubiri, Tito Soto, and Aquilino Cuaco Pimentel III. Currently, there is a draft of a new constitution finalized by a unique consultative committee composed of leading lawyers and political scientists handpicked by our President Duterte. And yet, the Philippine Congress is under no duty to accept it as it stands. Considering the statements mentioned above, even though it would be an advantageous step for the Philippines to change their form of government, there will be some issues that might arise, like it could promote ethnocentrism, uneven development among the regions, and competition against other regions' progress.
Hello and welcome. I'm going to present to you the pro arguments in our topic. First is, it could promote ethnocentrism to arise. Federalism could be contradictory to the principle of equality in some regions, and the additional rights given to these ethnic groups may cause bias and unfairness to the others that could break the unity of their constituents, according to Juhas in year 2005. Federated states must avoid in becoming ethnocentric regions because this will indicate that ethnocentric groups dominate in them. And another thing is, federalism is seen as a strong predictor of a higher form of inequality within the growing economies of each federated state. This indicates a higher poverty rate in all countries, according to UI in 2018. This emphasizes the risks of ethnic diversity, which could point to political animosity and other disputes that are motivated by ethnic differences. The second pro-argument is the uneven development among the states. Federalism gives way to a structure that disperses administrative power, and it may cause unequal growth among the states that are not ready for autonomous leadership, according to Punong Bayan year 2017. There are only several regions that can generate income on their own. Every region has to support the needs of their localities. These manifest the required amount of finances needed to stabilize the state's economy, and their resources should be enough to sustain their needs. However, a majority of the provinces, when given supreme power to govern its own state, do not have the fundamental executive capacity to generate income and utilize the supreme power bestowed upon them, according to Regoli in year 2019. Hence, there will be regions that will progress faster than the rest, and other federated states may be slower than others because they do not have the same abundant amount of resources such as the rest. Leadership within the local governments is also essential because those regions with better leaders have more chances to progress rapidly and develop faster than the rest, compared to those who are ineffective in office. According to Villanueva, year 2017. And our third pro-argument is federalism could influence the competition between territories, provinces, cities, and regions. Switching to federalism also renders higher chances of investment liberalization, according to Garcia in year 2019. However, it also imposes risks to the market. It is also dependent on the implemented local laws and regulations of the states, wherein it may cause conflict among other regions. And each region can manifest its own set of statutes and laws regulating the constituents that are part of their regional government with a new federal system. Hence, federalism is suspected of cultivating political rivalry among regions, wherein regional governments may have to innovate and enhance their systems to draw in more foreign investors. Small businesses and local investors will not be daunted by the new federal system, while the bigger ones may try to avoid it, according to Garcia in year 2019. Competition between the sovereignty of the state may lead to progress of the country's economic state, or it could be the cause of its downfall.
On the other hand, despite all the disadvantages of implementing federalism, there are also advantages in implementing federalism in the Philippines. Some of the benefits of implementing federalism is that it can deliver essential goods and services equally to a specific region and faster project planning delivery. According to Professor Eric De Torres 2018, having a federal government can be more active in delivering essential goods and services with efficiency and effectiveness. He also stated a situation about how many years it would take for a public classroom to construct because of the slow process of project delivery in our current form of government. To avoid this type of situation, Torres stated that federalism could be the right solution for the slow process of project delivery. In federalism, the power of planning about a specific project will be given to the LGUs or the region, which make it faster and more efficient. In addition to the said situation, having federalism can also make other regions less dependent on Metro Manila when it comes to businesses and job hunting. Most people from other regions went to Metro Manila to find a better job or establish a business. However, in federalism, there is no need for people from other regions to go to Metro Manila because they can already find a stable job in their region. It is because federalism can allow fiscal autonomy for local government. According to Margox Torres 2019, the country's wealth can be distributed equally to the local region if federalism is implemented, causing economic improvement. Despite all the said reason, implementing federalism in the Philippines is not a must.
Changing the form of government in the Philippines to federalism still has difficulties and disadvantages despite the advantages mentioned earlier. It could promote ethnocentrism, uneven development among regions, and competition between these regions. Federalism could promote centralization, which is very advantageous for some regions, but simultaneously promote competition and division. Some regions, particularly those that are small and poor, and has limited resources to provide to the citizens, will suffer and not progress at all. Obviously, the opposite situation that federalism would cause to a much larger, rich region with unlimited resources. This highly debated issue in the Philippines has also led Filipinos into asking, are we ready for federalism? Federalism entails a responsibility for each region to develop further their local industries, education, health, transportation, and promote local products and resources. While this idea has been attractive to many people, including President Duterte, there are still people who are opposed to this idea, considering the status quo of some regions, specifically those who do not have enough workforce or resources to cater to the needs of its citizens.